Hey, what's up everybody? Some of you guys may know me, but my name is Brett Bodkins and I do mostly landscape photography, and today I wanted to explain a little bit about why I chose to buy a Nikon D800 in 2019. Basically, if you're doing a lot of video or a lot of high ISO photography or something like that, then some of you guys are going to have special needs that maybe an older camera like what I'm talking about may not work for you. But for me, I actually have been shooting Nikon's crop sensor cameras for quite a while, and I know a lot of you are going to be coming from a similar situation, and you're debating whether or not you want to get a full frame camera, and maybe you don't have the budget to be able to buy a $3,000 camera right now, and so. That's kind of where I was coming from, and I already had a nice crop sensor camera in the D500, and it could do all the video stuff I needed and all that. And for me, I already had quite a few full frame lenses, and I shot those whenever I would shoot on a Nikon film SLR, and I already knew that I wanted to keep using all my lenses. So as far as it goes, I wanted to be able to shoot those lenses natively without using adapters or anything like that. And I wanted to take advantage. I already knew that those lenses looked better on the full frame format than they did when I shot them on my crop sensor cameras. I knew what I was losing and what I wanted to gain. And that's why I chose to go with a full frame Nikon SLR, digital SLR, to take full advantage of my lenses and have full compatibility of my lenses from any of the cameras that I use. And so I chose to go with a Nikon full frame DSLR. Some of you guys could do the same thing using other brands just by going with an older camera that happens to be a nice full frame camera back in its day, and get the extra benefits that I'm talking about here. Now mostly I use this for landscape and some portraiture, and from time to time when I shoot certain types of events, I choose my D500 still, or if I'm going to do videos like I'm doing now, I do it on my D500 if I want, especially if I want to shoot in 4K. But in this case, I just wanted to explain that for me, I could have got a the camera I really want was a D850, and that's a $3,000 camera, and I didn't want to spend that money and didn't honestly have the budget for that. So what I did is I looked around and I figured out that I could get a D800 or a D810 for under $1,000, and I ended up actually settling on the D800. I got a really good deal at $650. So it can be done as long as you know how to inspect the equipment and things like that. There's a lot of benefit that can be had. So you guys could do the same thing. You're just going to basically look to buy a camera from 6 or 8 years ago that's now outdated, but was the top of the line camera of its day. I know the Sony models, you can go something with an A7, A7 II, something like that, and come around the same type price point. And I know it can be done for other brands as well. Again, this is something that I shoot my cameras at low ISO pretty much all the time, with very few exceptions to that, especially, doing landscape or even portraiture, depending on the type of portraiture. Then I pretty much shoot low ISO all the time, so that's not really a problem. The Nikon D800 that I chose, it has a 36 megapixel full frame sensor, and so just for image quality, it's still very competitive with most cameras today, unless you're spending $3,000, So yeah, so that's the main reason why I chose to go with the D800. I think a lot of you guys could benefit in a similar way, especially if you already have a crop sensor camera that you're going to be able to use the same lenses or something like that. this might be a good route to go. Now I have a backup camera. If I'm going to shoot certain types of events or portrait sessions or something, it can be a benefit to put like a wide angle lens on the full frame camera, put a longer zoomed in lens on a on the crop sensor camera, get a benefit of that, you know, take advantage of the extra crop on that. And basically what, you know, what I'm looking at is that, you know, you don't switch between, you don't have to spend so much time changing lenses. You have a backup camera in case something goes wrong. And, you know, so there's a lot of benefit to that. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of why I chose what I did, and hope that it may help some of you guys out there, you know, looking to get into a full frame camera, and maybe you're gonna wait another couple years for a current model to come down in price, like I'm doing with the D850. Here in 2 or 3 years, 4 years, I'll probably go ahead and upgrade the D800 to the D850, and then basically be able to have the best of both worlds. You know, there's a lot of other full frame cameras that had smaller megapixel counts that would be a great choice, like a D700, but the problem for me was with so many crop sensor lenses, I didn't want to use it in crop mode and get such a small file. I wanted to be able to use a crop sensor lens from time to time and do it in a way that I still get a reasonable size file. Ideally, the D850 is a great option for anybody that is trying to transition to a full frame body, because if you use that camera in crop mode, you get an output similar to even like a D500 crop sensor camera. You get that similar output in crop mode. So really you don't have a lot to lose with the D850 on that, but again, the D850 is an expensive camera, and so some of us just don't have that kind of funds available at the moment. So for me, again, I'm going to keep the D800 for a couple years, keep shooting that. It's a great camera, and there's really no downsides to it in the way that I use it. Again, if you're shooting video a lot, or if you're trying to shoot nighttime photography, night sky photography, stuff like that, where you have to go to high ISOs, it may not be the best camera for you. I do notice a difference between the D500 and the D800 when it comes to ISO performance. You know, one other benefit to the D810, D850 is they actually go lower on the low ISO to 64 base ISO, and to me that's a bigger benefit than better high ISO performance. So, you know, Nikon and other brands going forward, I hope you guys will heed that a lot of people are only looking for low ISO performance, nice full frame, you know, output, and we don't care so much about the video features or high ISO or, you know, all these other fancy things that are going on in some of the newer cameras. Give me a simple interface with simple menus and high image output quality, and you know, I'm going to be happy. And there's a lot of people on the same boat as me on that. So anyway, guys, you know, to sum it up, you know, you can get a good full frame sensor for under $700, $800 for a lot of brands, and you know, just look around. If you already have lenses, that may be a good option for you to step into a higher you know, output system and do it for a lot cheaper. So anyway, guys, that's basically where I'm coming from, and I just wanted to share some of that. All right, take care.